Hi, hello, and good evening. It is August 8th, and we are discussing last night's episode of Big Brother 24 and some spoilers. Lots to talk about. Let's do it. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined by my Festie Besties, John Dunphy and Dean Mordino. Tonight, we are talking about Big Brother 24 on Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast. You can find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on our flashy website at bbjuryduty.com. Okay, so we left off here with what? Daniel accidentally backdooring his good friend Nicole and
Mhm.
she's walking out the house at a vote of 9-1, much to his chagrin. So this episode opened with a quite disgruntled Daniel.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, oh yes.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, I got quite
Disgruntled Daniel. I love the D word, like this delusional Daniel, disgruntled
Oh, yeah.
Daniel.
No, it's good. It's good.
Oh yeah, no, we like alliteration here on Jury Duty. Um, yeah, and this whole back and forth with Monty, it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable and cringy and terrible.
I was so happy we got this because, like, as soon as you started seeing the end of the Thursday episode, and like, just whoever was running cams for the end of the Thursday episode deserves a raise, because something about watching them all celebrating in the kitchen while you're hearing Daniel like, just cancel the season, it doesn't even matter, it's
Yeah.
stupid.
It's so stupid.
Like, and obviously we weren't going to get what came next, because then they went into the HOH competition, so we just never were going to see any of that. So the fact that it was all right at the beginning of this episode, I was like,
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I do also have to point out what we were laughing at was Matt's comment. Hi, Matt. Opposite holding partly. I cannot. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I can't wait.
I'll wait till we get into it.
I mean, like, we don't really have to. Do we have to wait?
No.
I mean, we'll finish the Daniel thing, and if we
Let's
just
do
go
it,
right,
Daniel first.
we
Sure.
can just go
Yeah.
right into Buff and Gate. Yeah, I'm down for it. So yeah, Daniel was just really miffed with Monty, and then going on about how Monty and Michael are definitely going to win the game, how jealous I am of your game. You guys doing a great job. Like, really, really effectively painting such a target on Monty. And he knew exactly what he was doing. And
Of course.
Monty called him on it. I mean, it didn't stop him, but
what was infuriating to me about this conversation is, like, this was a moment where I genuinely don't know if Daniel knows what he's doing or not. Like, are you delusional, or do you know the best way to ruffle feathers? Because the fact that it seemed as though he didn't have this self-awareness, he kept saying that Monty lied to him and Monty played him. And it's like, Monty flat out told you do not have the votes.
Yeah, that was the part of it that I didn't
You put
get.
Nicole up.
Yeah, he
That
kept
was
saying,
you.
"You
You
lied
did
to me.
that."
Didn't you say that? Didn't you say that?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like,
I just like I get like being like wounded and like one of your allies going out, so you're like, okay, I have to try to stir something up. I have to try to blow up somebody's game. This just came up to me as like very childish, like a tantrum. Like, I didn't get my way and I'm annoyed. So like,
that's
it
exactly
wasn't
what it
effective.
was.
Yeah, it wasn't effective to me at all. And like, you even saw Turner at one point just like kind of walking away. Like, what is this guy doing? Like, everybody seemed to agree that the only person Daniel was putting a target on was himself. That's what it seemed like everyone in the house agreed on.
Yeah.
So,
and since we're talking about the cameramen and their wonderful work this season, there was another shot during that whole little part where Daniel was sitting by himself, just staring at the memory wall, and then like in the back was like the faded out rest of the house.
Yeah.
And it was just really great. I really, really enjoyed it.
What also got me about the camera moments in this episode specifically, because I've seen it happen on feeds, but I haven't seen it in the episode yet, and they put it in a couple of times. Turner has been doing this thing where, like, when he notices that, like, mostly it happens with Jasmine, but like if people around him are being idiots, he'll do the like The Office looking directly into the camera thing.
I've seen that.
It gets me and they put a bunch of them in this episode. Like, there's a thing that happens with Jasmine later. They put in Turner just staring at the camera like, is she fucking kidding me? And it gets me every time.
Yeah, it's really great. He's really turned out to be quite the character.
Total 180 from what we expected.
Yeah.
I know.
All thanks to his sister. Yeah. So Muffin Gate, shall we, huh?
Let's get into it.
So Miss Jasmine, was on slop, and she was quite miffed about this. And so somebody baked muffins. I don't know who it was. I'm assuming Indy. It doesn't matter. There are
Maybe, I don't
muffins that were
remember.
baked. And she couldn't have them right away, so she put them on the side to make sure she got her little nosh when she was ready. Upon returning to said muffins, she noticed that one had been halved. And then she went on a grand tirade to figure out exactly who done it.
Yeah.
What was funny about this edit was like they made it sound like it was a cute little thing. She was pissed.
Yeah,
they did not really showcase how angry she was. Like she was fully walking around like, who?
Yeah. This was really not a funny moment on feeds.
No.
But the way they, well, I mean, it was
funny for us.
Yeah, it was funny
for
before.
her.
Yeah, completely different reason. But I will say, like the way they edited this was so fantastic. Like the use of the music and even just the way that they faded in and out of her to make it look like so much time had passed with her going up the steps
and
with
even
the muffins
just them
swinging in the sandwich bag. I mean,
the fact that the editors didn't reveal until the end of the segment who actually ate the muffin. Like even like the casuals were watching, like who did that?
Yes.
What's going on?
It was great.
I like because it's so funny, right? We've been watching the feeds a lot more. Well, Gina, you've always been the feed queen, but like just as a whole, as a collective, I feel like we're all watching the feeds much more during this season.
Yeah.
So like I remember seeing like the clips that people were posting on Twitter of this moment, like from the feeds, and just thinking it was hysterical. Literally for the last like week and a half, I feel like I've been walking around just going, literally saying to myself, "Who ate the half?" Because it's just so funny to me. So like to be able to get it all like with the editing and like the sound effects, like it was so like they had her when she went into the HOH room. It sounded like the Wild Wild West, like she was about to like have like a duel with somebody. Like everything was just so great that I swear I'm waiting for someone to eat half of some type of food
Something else
so
of
that
hers.
I can say, of mine, so that I can use it
own.
and say, who ate the half?
But again, and we talked about this when we were doing live feed spoilers the other day, but like, it's just so funny because Jasmine was walking around like, I would never do this to anybody else. I would never do this to you. How dare someone do this to me? Jasmine, the reason this happened to you is because you ate Turner's HOH food. Like, this is exactly
because you already did it. Like, it was your idea done to you. Yeah, she sucks. The only problem I have with this segment is that this made me become slightly endeared towards her.
And that's you've been saying that for the last couple of weeks.
Yes, and I don't like that. I don't want to like her because I know you're not a nice girl. So I don't want to be chuckling
Jasmine,
at you.
it's right there in the name. She's a mean girl.
Jasmine.
Yeah, still Jasmine.
Who ate the half is the new on my daughter's birthday.
On my daughter's birthday.
Now, my roommate Tommy said this first, but I do completely agree with it. I think Who Ate the Half is also on the same plane as Jersey Shore's Who Wrote the Note. Okay, like this is definitely giving those kind of vibes like around this, for sure.
Not the note.
Who ate the half? You. Like who wrote the note?
Not the note.
You. So good. Oh, it's so good.
It was just so good. Like, because then you see, I think it was Taylor being like, oh my God, like, I can't believe she's acting like this. This is so ridiculous. And you just see Turner just so nonchalantly go, yeah, that's why I ate the muffin.
That's why I did. Yeah.
He really wanted to go on the block this week. He wanted
did.
to be a pawn.
He was begging to go on the block this week. I was also loving the clip that like I loved that they included him then halving the half and him like sneaking around looking at the cameras like I got the spoon. Like, he walks into the DR with the muffin like all right.
Yeah.
Now, I did see on feeds that he did later on like pour water or something on them too. Didn't that happen?
That was a separate thing. There were cookies in a bag that he then like poured water into the, like just because that was funny because and I hope that they include this later. This was a moment where I saw somebody tweet like Michael is absolutely a live feeder. We were watching Michael watch the live feeds on the live feeds because he was sitting in the HOH bedroom watching Turner do it on their little camera that they have. And he was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And I was like, Michael's one of us. Like,
yes.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
And that's exactly how I saw it too. And they had like in picture in the bottom,
Yes.
whoever, like, people really work hard.
Oh yeah.
On clipping these feeds. I really got to give it to everybody. Yeah. Like, honestly.
I literally, something funny will happen. I will refresh my timeline, and it's already
5 people have posted it.
Seconds later.
It's not just
clip.
one. Yeah, it's like you have multiple options for how you'd like to view
different angles. Where you want to watch the quad? You want to watch camera 1? You want to watch camera 3? What do you want?
No, it's like a full clip. They've already like written out a whole paragraph for their opinion on it. Meanwhile, like, I find a funny moment, and I'm like, have my phone, and I'm like trying to take a picture. Like, oh, people are gonna love this. People are gonna love this.
So many people are gonna like this tweet.
Yeah, 3 likes.
I'm going viral tonight.
But it's so impressive. Stupid. It's so impressive. These, what the feeders do. So
yeah, we're not. So. They play Head of Household, and there's this balance beam thing. I don't remember what it's actually called. Something about the woof woof.
They put stupid like they pooch signs and they had weird dog noises the whole time. Or whatever the hell. I was like,
you say weird
what is happening?
I laughed a lot every time.
The sound effects in this competition, I was like, what is happening to that dog?
Yeah.
Something is wrong.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it.
They did mention pooch, but the name of the competition was Mind Your Step. Just so you know.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm just letting you know. You said you didn't know what it was.
Right. No, I'm saying thank you to our official record keeper.
Just making very snooty faces at me.
Well, it was more the way you delivered it, not the fact that you had the information.
I just read the words.
My face was, I just hate this the name of this competition. Like, that wasn't at you. That was like, do better.
Yeah.
Oh, mine was at him.
A lot of snoot.
Yeah, I felt, you were being. I thought you were being a little snooty. Oh, well, the name of the competition actually was, thank goodness I do this. Thank goodness I do this.
Listen, all right.
I always take these notes.
Wow. You know what? Have a good night.
No, stay. So everybody ran across their stupid. So everybody ran across their little balance beams and such here, and so Michael gets there first. And the fastest, or whatever first. Gets there the fastest. Kind of not exciting when somebody kind of clocks the fastest time that early. Because then who cares?
Here's what annoyed me about this competition. And I said this the night of, but I just got to say it on the podcast. So the last time we saw this competition, we watched it happen live. There was no reason why this competition couldn't happen live, except they had to give us Kyle talking about his boner in the freaking showman segment so we couldn't see the competition. I'm livid. This would have been such an exciting one to watch. Like, it was a perfect setup where, like, Nicole went home. We were all on the edge of our seats waiting to see who won the HOH. And this was such an easy competition to do live. Yeah. Why did you have to pre-record this?
Well, listen.
I feel like this has happened twice now in a row where we would have had enough time, if not for a showman segment, and we had to get that instead.
Yeah.
Not happy either.
Well,
not happy either.
Listen, the editors have been and production has really been wanting this showman. They've been editing things to make this happen. Let them have their moment. They finally I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think it was really stupid. I'm already over the showman, so I still don't really think it's like that real. Like, I see it's happening, but I'm still not taking this very seriously. I mean,
I do want to talk about this more later at some point because
why not now?
I have. Well, I mean, if you want to get into it now, do we want to keep going through the HOH, or we already say?
Who cares?
Yeah, we said Michael won. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, thank God. By the way. Thank God. I'm so happy he won. But, oh my God, I'm a little scared for him too.
Right. I'm happy he won. I also don't think he needed to win this one. Like, somebody would have beat Daniel's time other than Michael. Like, we saw, I guess Kyle was the next closest. That wouldn't have been great. But, like, Michael is really putting a huge target on his back.
Yeah, he is.
Because, like, up until they've only aired the first 4 vetoes. The one this week would have been 5, yeah?
This week will be
this
5.
week is 5.
Okay, so of the first 4 vetoes, Michael won 3 of them. The only reason he didn't win one of them is because he was not selected to compete in it. Yep. And now he almost won the first HOH. He has now won this HOH. He claims that any competition he's lost is because he's thrown. Like, you're putting a huge... I understand you want to make big moves. You're a super fan. I love watching Michael win. He's my winner pick. That is who I want to see in the end. But people are going to be gunning for him. The moment that all of like the quote unquote big targets that the house has selected, like as a whole, that they decide need to go out, Michael's the next one out. Like, they're going to be coming for him. And he better hope that he's going to be able to win all the vetoes that he's on the block for, you know?
Yep.
Michael's already won more competitions than some of the All-Stars we had in BB22.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so with that, you know, Michael kind of like stays to plan, right? I mean, I guess there's not much. Was there any other like game things really happen at this competition? I don't really think nothing groundbreaking was there.
I mean, we've seen people going back and forth on whether they should target Daniel or if they should keep the target on like a Terrence or like someone from that trio,
right?
To try to like break up numbers. And I think in this episode, someone was posing the idea of targeting Monty.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Yeah.
It's not a terrible idea in general, but I think it's way too soon.
Yeah, I would agree.
I agree with that too.
Oh my God. They made such a big joke out of that. That looked so painful. Yeah. Like Turner ate shit in that competition.
Turner's face broke the ground. It was, but you know what? He took it like a champ. He got up. He was like, "Guys, I survived."
I was like, "How is your nose not broken? How is your ankle not broken? How are you not scraped?" And then it's like, that can happen to Turner, and we've had to listen to Jasmine whine about her freaking ankle for 3 weeks.
At least she tried in this one.
Did she though? She like that got me so good. You see like the DR of her being like, "I really want to win this competition." I was like, "Oh my God."
Do you think was that like a joke? Was
it definitely like, it definitely was a joke?
Just take like 2 steps out there, and then we'll just do the buzzer. You know, people will love it. They'll love it.
But it could also be like maybe that could also be her sense of humor. Like maybe she's she's clearly a
that
funny.
That was a
person,
really good moment.
Nice. Yeah. I still thought it was funny. Like it was definitely funny. Was she really? Matt said Jasmine was in the pool with her cane earlier. Was she really?
I don't doubt that.
I don't
doubt But that was what I was talking about earlier with Turner doing the like deadpan office look to the camera. We got one of those in this episode because like Kyle, maybe or maybe not, hit her in the foot. Like it genuinely playing the footage back, I was like, he barely touched her. But she, oh God, no, you hit. Oh, I need ice. Oh, I'm in so much. Shh. Yeah. Stop it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's too much. It's really
I have to tell you too, like, so in that moment in the backyard, her foot is barely touched. She starts freaking out, right? She's like hopping everywhere or she's scooting around everywhere. The minute she's trying to figure out who ate the half of the damn muffin, she's running up and down those stairs. Yes. Did you notice that she was on both feet going up and down those stairs? All of a sudden, I don't have to sit down and scoot one step at a time anymore. Now I can go full force up these stairs. Like, what? Like, what?
She was a woman on a mission. God. She needed to know who ate her muffin.
Who ate the half?
Yeah, she needs to know. She needs to know. I can't wait for her to actually find out.
It was her bestie.
Yeah, alleged.
He wants her out so bad. It's so funny.
I liked hearing all 3 of them at some point in the episode, Monty and Joseph talking about it, and then Turner talking about it in the H. And we know why Turner wanted to be a pawn, but like it was nice to hear all 3 of them actually volunteer to be pawns, not have to be like convinced of it.
Right.
Because there were a few times earlier in the game where like even when the leftovers first formed, that it seemed like they were just way too quick and way too easily to be like, oh, well, Taylor, you know, the whole house thinks you're the target, so you can go up. So it was nice to actually see them, like these 3, you know, strong guys in the house or whatever, say like, oh, I want to be the pawn this week.
Right. She finally gets a break.
Right.
Like, yeah.
And I know specifically I heard like Turner definitely say out loud, like, I don't want Taylor going on the block. I will be a pawn because I don't want Taylor going on the block. And that just, I really enjoyed. She's had a rough go, so. And you still see her in there, like, saying stuff like, you don't come for my allies in this game. You don't come for my friends. Like, she really does consider them friends. And, like, she deserves to have that. So
I did also,
we
breezed right past one of my favorite moments of the episode, which is when Daniel is going off on Monty and Taylor just pops up on the stairs with the Lays like, I'm just glad he's not yelling at me today. With her stupid chips.
She needs to be in some Lay's commercials after this. Like,
my God.
Right? Like,
all right. I actually was slightly bothered by the fact that she was sitting there eating the Lays and then had the Lays in the DR, because it leads me to believe that she now knows that that's a thing. Like, the way she was eating them, like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like,
maybe,
it almost like,
but it also was like, that was the big moment of the fight, was like, Taylor, you have to stop with the Lays,
right?
So I can see her, like, even if she wasn't tipped off, thinking like, oh, this is like a silly thing now.
No,
yeah,
and
I
love it.
So. I just hope that it's not that, production, like, kind of like has tipped her off to, it's like,
it certainly could be that, but I mean, like, it's a thing in the house itself too. I mean, I've seen people posting on, like, on the feeds and stuff, like from on Twitter, saying like, oh, today Joseph and Monty were joking around with Taylor, like, Taylor, you can't just eat Lays for dinner. Like, it's an actual thing in the house that they joke about.
Okay, that she like truly likes it. It's like her favorite thing.
Right. It's something that they like joke about in there.
Oh, very good. Okay, that saves it for me. That does. I like that. So with that, now he goes through with it. We put up Monty, Joseph, and Terrence. Great. Everyone's doing their share for the leftovers, paying their dues.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a, pretty risk-free move, right? I mean, like, everybody can feel pretty good about it, even Monty and Joseph as members of the leftovers. Like, you have numbers now. You have numbers in this veto competition. You have strong competitors in there. And worst case scenario, if everything goes, terribly, you still have your emergency exit and get Terrence out,
Right.
So.
Yes, except that I do worry. I do worry that the right person could make that a problem. Because now you've got 3 people on the block. If this is how this ends, it's only, you're taking now 2 votes out of the leftovers on this. You're taking
3, because Michael's the HOH, yeah.
Right. So now it doesn't take as many votes to leave.
I think at that point, well, I think it would either come down to a tie, or it would come down to, like, the leftovers would vote Terrence and everybody else would be split between Monty and Joseph potentially. And then Michael would just break the tie, I think.
I hope.
Yeah.
That would be my only fear with that.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. Once you throw the 3rd nominee in there, all the votes can get thrown off.
It's really fluey.
It goes from needing 5 or 6 to get somebody out to maybe only needing 3, something like that, depending on how things break down.
Yeah, and that scares me. Yeah, absolutely. If somebody who wants to shake some things up, if they could think that far ahead, all of a sudden that Monty argument becomes, like, really real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's all. So we have a new alliance map, courtesy of our Big Brother Junkie. So here we are.
Very nice.
Here we are here. My goodness. See, I didn't even look at this before I did anything with it. The pound.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the pound is real? Like, that actually is like a real thing?
Yes.
Okay.
That we've heard that a lot on the feeds. I don't think we've gotten it in the episode.
Right. That's why, like, I'm never sure. Okay. So the pound is real. That's the inside of the leftovers. Turner, Michael. What? Turner, Joseph. I'm literally looking at his face and saying the wrong name. Monty and Kyle.
Yeah, that happened, I think, right on the heels of Pooch's eviction, because the pound, Pooch.
Right. I think Turner came up with that name too, if I remember correctly. I think he was the one, like,
I believe so,
because him and Pooch were very close, right? I think that was sort of the thing, like, oh, Pooch is out, Pooch ran away from the pound, like that. That was like, I think he made that joke.
Now, has there been any talk about, like, these members of the pounds being concerned with what the other 3 are doing? Or they just think they're just better than that.
Not that I've heard, I think.
I think Kyle has been maybe the most vocal about, like,
Well, Kyle's paranoid about a couple of things. So
Yeah.
Kyle is paranoid about a couple of things. And apparently this is getting him a lot of hate.
Yeah.
So why?
I feel like most of them have been pretty tight. Like this was the first little like whiff of any issues within the leftovers, like as a whole, even like stuff that I was seeing about Kyle this week. But Gina, I feel like you'll probably be able to speak to it better because I have not been as in tune.
Basically, what it is it seemingly came out of nowhere. Like it was like he aligned with Alyssa, and like I don't know if like it's now his judgment is clouded because he's got this showmance thing going on, or if it's like a sleep deprivation thing, or like what is going on here. But all of a sudden, he is stressed out because he is certain that there is like a Cookout 2.0 happening in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And that he is kind of on the back end of an alliance of the, for lack of a better term, minority groups, quote unquote, aligning to get out the white guys in the house. And he's like very, very stressed out about what that means for his game.
Okay.
And it's like, on the one hand, like even the people on like from the Cookout while that season was happening were saying like this is going to make it harder moving forward because it's going to strike up more paranoia about like seeing Black people in the house moving forward. Like that is just a thing that like what we're doing could potentially make it harder for other people. Mm-hmm. So to a point, like whatever, but there's nothing in this house to kind of point to that being the situation, especially since most of the people who have gone on the block were the people of color in the house. Taylor has been the target for most of the season. Like, it feels like it came out of I don't know where it came from Kyle.
He's like linking people together just based on what they look like, even if they have never had any history, never evidence of actually working together in the game. I mean, Terrence is still walking around the house every day calling Taylor a bitch, from what I've seen. Like, really nasty things. Like, you know,
it's not even just that he doesn't have proof of them working together. He has so much proof of them working against each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't understand what clouded his judgment to make him think this.
Well, now, how many conversations did he have regarding this concern? Is it one that has been coming up a lot, or is it just mentioned one or two times?
I know he's brought it up to Michael a number of times.
That's where I've seen it the most, is in his conversations with Michael as the HOH, being like, hey, like trying to warn Michael, not even realizing that, like, dude, what you're doing is calm down a little bit. You got to slow down here.
Well, see, I have a lot of mixed feelings on this too, you know, because I said this last year as well. I said, you are now not going to be able to get away from this game where we do not have a discussion around race. And I don't necessarily think that that's like a bad thing, you know, unless he was saying something that was problematic, which is why I was asking all these questions.
And that's the thing.
He didn't follow this enough.
He did not blatantly say anything racist, or he didn't like kind of other them or anything like that, but he did like make comments about like, I'm worried about a Cookout 2.0. I have not heard him say anything more problematic than that. And I don't know if this is like, again, because I've been like in and out of the feeds this week, so maybe there are things that I've missed. I don't know if he's like for sure been super problematic, or if this is like some of what we heard in the preseason and now people are being like, see, this is exactly what we thought it was going to be.
That's what I feel like is kind of happening to him right now. And unless he's actually said something bad, that I don't really think there's anything wrong with having a conversation exploring what that could be. Just like everyone has conversations. Are the men working together? Are the women working together? Unfortunately, the blowback from the Cookout happening is that now you're going to get people thinking that. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing as long as you're not just like, as long as it's not coming like with slurs and like anything that's now going to like bring somebody down or something for it. But like,
I think the issue is more the fact that there is so clearly proof that that's not happening that he's not even like looking at it. He's like, no, this must be the case. He's not only does he have no like concrete evidence, but there's so much evidence in the opposite. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's what everyone's issue is like the only reason that you could possibly be thinking this is because you see a bunch of Black people in the house. Like,
right. Well, right. And it's like, So simply because there has not been any evidence of that happening before, it doesn't mean that something like that cannot change. I mean, like, I feel like that is something you would have to kind of keep your eye on after you just saw it happen. Just like if you saw an all-female alliance kind of steamrolling their way to the end, I think if you were playing BB25, you would now be looking for any group of girls that would be trying to replicate the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep
Right.
Yeah.
And if there's something that I've missed, like, let us know, because I
Right,
haven't
and
been
that's
totally
why I
tuned to the
really-
feed. So
yes,
maybe there are
that's-
things
I
that I
haven't-
haven't heard. Maybe he's been more problematic and I just missed it, you know?
Right. I just don't think
Right,
I don't think
right.
we should be jumping to hashtagging KK Kyle over like, you know, him saying, could the black people be working together? And like it just doesn't really seem to fit. That's not really like, let's calm down now. Let's calm down.
Okay.
At least for
We'll keep
now.
an eye out.
Just keep an eye out. Just keep an eye out, you know. And please, like, let us know if there was something, you know. 'Cause I don't want to be out here
Right.
looking like a clown, you know. I don't want to be looking
I
like Nicole
also,
now.
like, if we're talking about BB Twitter, I have so many questions. I woke up one morning and everyone hated Michael. And I still don't know what happened. It's just like all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, stupid Michael with the HOH. I can't wait for him to go. Like, oh, like he said he wanted to be like Janelle and now he's going to burn his game out too fast. Just like that. He doesn't deserve to win. And everyone was so mad at Michael. And I have
Whoa.
no idea what happened to make them mad at Michael.
I don't even know when this happened.
This was,
I remember
like Friday, Saturday morning?
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff, but I was at work. I wasn't able to check like what was actually happening. But I'm not sure what happened either. But
I tweeted it. I was like, y'all, why don't we like Michael? What happened? And no one answered me.
Or was that because he was entertaining the conversation around evicting, like targeting Monty and evicting him? Is that why?
That could be because I think
he was entertaining it.
I think this was around the time that Kyle was coming to him and talking to him about this Cookout 2.0 thing, and then.
But at the same time, like things like
and
that.
And then there were like rumblings though of like Monty possibly being the target. It was like now is Michael just following Kyle's plan now, and maybe that's what it was.
But again, things like that on feeds, you never really know, because there have been so many times that I've watched the feeds and been like, what are you saying right now? And then a couple of days later, we'll get a DR session and an edit being like, yeah, I just told him that to appease him. I don't actually think that. So like, how much of Michael, quote unquote, scheming with Kyle was Michael actually taking that in versus just like, oh yeah, I'll just yes you to death for right now. I'm not going to do that. Like, I just want to make you feel more comfortable because you're the person that I want to end up putting on the block if this veto plan all works out the way that we want it to. So I'll just tell you yes to make you feel better right now.
Also possible.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right. And especially as the HOH this week, like Michael has to keep his game face on at all times, you know, so that could absolutely, we might see that, like you said, in a DR where, you know, Michael sort of responding, being like, yeah, Kyle's talking about all this, but I don't actually plan to do it. We might get that.
Yeah. All right. You want to get to spoilers? I'm ready for spoilers.
Sure.
Well, I did want to ask something else about Kyle.
Okay.
Because I've been seeing now, have you seen anything, Gina, out there about possibly Alyssa not liking Kyle as much as she was?
I have.
I saw some people like putting out on Twitter that like apparently, I don't know if I think she was talking to Indy, maybe it said, saying that like Kyle was giving her the ick or something like that. And like, I was like,
it really feels like she was really into the chase. And then once she got his attention, she was like, I don't want this.
One of those.
Because even there were, and you can't really tell from a screenshot, you know, but like there were people screenshotting them on the feeds and Kyle's like cuddled up next to her and she's like, her body language is very much like, out of here. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Because Kyle was not into it. And then all of a sudden he was, I mean, we've talked about it. I don't know if it's like the ex-Mormon of it all, but like all of a sudden he's acting like an 8th grader that's just discovering girls for the first time. And it's like very overwhelming, very jarring. And I don't know if maybe that's turning her off. I don't know if like the TikTok of it all is turning her off. And I don't know if she's just like, she was in it for the chase. When she got what she wanted, she realized she don't want it anymore, you know?
Right. I feel like it seems like it could be that. Like it was like, okay, I was into you when you were not paying any attention to me, and now that you are, like, I kind of want you to go away because you're annoying. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from it.
I mean, even just from the moment that this showman started making the edits, and I was telling somebody this earlier, like, You see Alyssa in her DR being like, oh, what a great kiss. I just really love Kyle so much. Oh my God, a great kisser. That day, right after she kissed Kyle, she was talking to Indy about it. And she was like, it's kind of sloppy. Like, it wasn't really a great kiss. And then she's in the DR like, what a beautiful kiss. And I'm like, that's not what you said 10 minutes ago.
Right. I feel like I saw something else out there that like, oh God, what did she say? Oh, I think she was having a conversation with someone and said something like, "Oh, Kyle, like he's 30, he lives with his mom, and he does shirtless TikTok dances or something like that, like making fun of. Like, I don't know. This whole thing seems, man, what a terrible. Just please, honestly, just let it end. Just let it end. I don't need another showman segment all season, please.
I find them so annoying. I'm sorry.
I know. I agree. But all right, that's all. That's all I had on that.
Kyle, your thoughts?
I don't pay any attention to any of this showman's thing. I don't care about it. I don't like anything of it. I scroll past any clip of it. I'm just
and I mean,
not
that's
interested.
The thing is, like, I feel like this happens every season. As soon as there's a showmance, at least one of the cams on feeds is always on them. So you can't do anything without seeing Kyle and Alyssa everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I could not possibly care less about this.
Exactly. I just ignore the whole thing. I like stop there. Oh, I would agree with this, Matt. The Joseph Taylor flirting is more enthralling than the Alyssa Kyle showmans. Yeah. And we're not really getting much of that.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest
because
with you.
Taylor's got to be the bad guy.
Yeah, but I'm not interested really in that.
I just don't care about showmances.
Yeah, I don't care at all. Unless you become like a dominating force in the house and you're running things. Like if you're not giving me Rachel and Brendan vibes, then like no
I feel like they just they eat into the things that I want to see, like HOH competitions.
Yeah.
Like are we gonna get a live HOH comp this season from start to finish? Like that we're gonna get to see? Like I would love to see it. At least show us on feeds, something.
Yeah. No luck. I don't think so.
I mean, what I'm hoping, and this is all me speculating, I am hoping that after this eviction cycle, because we go into jury now, I want to see the Besties twist dissolve, and I want to see a wall comp going into the first week of jury. That is what I want for Thursday. I want to see no more Besties, and I want to see a wall comp.
I think Besties is going to end.
I hope so.
I've had enough. I can't.
Yeah. I'm sick of these 3 people now. Like, it's just getting ridiculous.
Especially because you have the option to make the 3 the 4. Like, I hate it.
I still don't get that. I still, like, would there really have been 4 people on the block? If that's what had, like... And then, like...
Right, yeah. One of them wins HOH, and now all of them are safe.
And now they're all safe. But then also, at the same time, what if the next person that's evicted is just like, I'm going to join this group, and now there's 5? And now anybody in that group, if anybody in that group wins HOH, all 5 people are safe. Like, where does it end? Where does it end?
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the last one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so. But, okay. So Veto happened, right? On what was that? Saturday?
Yes.
Saturday? Who cares?
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They already know.
We put up the banner, but we didn't say anything for our audio friends.
Yeah.
It's time.
Spoiler time.
Here we are. So apparently, I read it was OTEV. Oh, and they said it at the end. They said at the end of the episode, too.
And this is where I get annoyed. How does OTEV work as a Besties competition?
Well, unless you're playing all individually and you're just winning for your bestie, just like the HOH does.
I guess.
Yeah.
But doesn't OTEV usually come later in the season?
Yeah. It's very early for OTEV.
Yeah, these people don't.
I don't think OTEV has ever happened pre-jury. I don't think.
What is this?
God. Well, and we've had some real bad comps this season, and I was really looking forward to this one, and I just hope it's not.
I'm so worried about what OTEV is going to be this year.
Right. I mean, we're happy with the outcome.
Who are you giving us? Who is he?
We are happy with the outcome, right? But
sure.
But
are we? I mean, it's also a problem.
I know, you're right. That's true. I keep forgetting because it's just so awesome to watch.
And that's what I didn't want to get into earlier. Like now, of the 5 veto competitions, Michael has won 4, and the only one he didn't win is the the only one he didn't win is the only one that he wasn't selected to play in. So now you have won 4 vetoes. You've won an HOH. You've almost won a bunch of other competitions. He easily could have thrown OTEV and just because to my understanding, based on what I've heard them saying, is that Terrence almost won. So if Terrence wins veto, they take themselves off the block anyway. Yeah. Why did you need to win this?
I had heard some rumblings that apparently like Terrence and Daniel, maybe it was. I heard so. I think I saw some rumors out there that Terrence was like thinking about like winning the veto, not using. Oh, I guess anybody could use it though. So he literally has no power. I forgot. It's okay. Right. Everyone just has vetoes, and anyone can do whatever they want.
Yeah, no. From my understanding, that last round was Terrence and Michael. It doesn't matter who wins; they're getting pulled off unless Michael wants to flip the script and do something crazy. Michael didn't need to win this. It still would have been according to plan. It still would have gotten Michael, Joseph, and Joseph, Monty, and Terrence off the block.
I was thinking, like, if Terrence wins, he wants, because the rumors out there that I was hearing was that Terrence didn't want to use the veto, and then like he could like send Monty home or something like that. But it doesn't matter because there's 3 vetoes if he wins.
As long as somebody in the trio wants to use it, which they do.
Which is just, this whole thing is insane.
Which so in a scenario like that, I don't really think that it's fair then that anybody else gets to use Terrence's veto. Like if he doesn't want to use it.
Like OTEV doesn't work in a besties situation. Like so one person wins and now everybody gets power to use it. No, I don't like that.
Right. Like
unless they're all just positively affected by it and it's still just Terrence's decision.
Right. But like let's just say in a different scenario where it's 3 people, what if 2 people don't want to use it and one person does? I feel like 2 people should be able to outweigh one person that wants to use it.
There's nothing about this veto situation in the besties twist that I like. I don't like it. It's happened to work out in our favor so far, but I don't like it.
Right. No, I don't so like messy. It either. But like, I guess it wouldn't bother me as much if like it's only Terrence's decision whether or not it gets used. And then if everybody comes off, everybody just comes off. That's just one of those like weird, like, you know, community chess cards that you might draw. But otherwise, like, no, I mean, I don't think that then like, you know, Monty can now get to say, I would like to use the veto. Like you didn't actually
earn it. Yeah.
Right. You might be able to benefit from it, but I'm not sure.
And that's why like it's different if it's like a team competition, but OTEV isn't that.
Right.
And that's I don't like why it happened. I don't like that it happened now. Save OTEV for later.
Yeah, I don't even understand why it did. What was the point? Like, who is that for? Was that for Daniel? Because we know that he's been, you know, trying to get on this show for 10 years and he's a super fan himself. And like, so now he gets to say that he played OTEV.
But he didn't even.
Oh, he didn't?
Yeah, Kyle and Daniel weren't selected in the draw.
Oh, well, we tried. Sorry, Daniel.
What if, you know what would be annoying? You know what would be really annoying if they were like, oh, let's do OTEV this week. Like maybe they were planning it for a different week or something, and they were like, let's do it this week because Monty, Joseph, and Terrence are all on the block, so we'll have 7 people in the competition instead of 6. Like for some reason they thought that was like more exciting or something like that. Like I just give us the games that we love with the way they're supposed to be played. Please just give it to us and stop giving us these crappy other comps.
No.
I'm very annoyed.
So we don't know what happened. We don't have the conversation or anything in between, but we know that Daniel and Kyle went up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah.
Awesome.
Everything's going exactly to plan.
And even I've seen people on Twitter too being like, we can totally relax this week. I don't care which of them goes home because people don't like Kyle anymore. So
yeah, well, I don't dislike Kyle that much. Daniel still needs to go. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I need to see these exit interviews. Yeah. I need to see all of this stuff. I really need to see what Daniel thinks about the fact that Chada does not like him. Like I need to see some of these things.
Daniel is not allowed to be in that jury house. No way.
No, I don't want him in the jury house. He shouldn't get the full experience. And I also just don't want him in there with Taylor.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. Have you watched any of Nicole's exit interviews?
A couple of them.
Yes.
What do you think?
I can't decide.
Like, what do you mean by what do you think?
What is your opinion?
See, See,
What is your opinion of how she's carrying
I'll go
herself? Like
first.
how they're going?
In what way?
So
in what way?
my opinion is one of two things is happening, and I can't decide which one it is. On the one hand, either she's genuinely regretful of what she's done, and in these conversations, she's genuinely like, yeah, I gotta like go back and watch and reflect, and I really want to like fix things, like patch things up, take accountability for what I've done. Or she's doing what we saw her do in the house a lot and giving a very diplomatic answer of what everybody wants to hear, and she doesn't feel sorry for anything. I can't decide which one it is. I want to believe she's taking accountability, but part of me is also like, let me save face because people don't like me right now. I genuinely don't know. Because she also like even, and I don't like to say this, but in every interview that I have seen, she has brought up the situation with the diary room and her mom, and she's cried about it in every single interview. And while I don't want to believe that that's a tactic, and I want to believe that she's being truthful when she's talking about that, it does kind of feel like she's looking for sympathy and looking for justification in the way that she treated Taylor.
Yeah.
I know, I actually did kind of feel like she was being genuine in some of these interviews, because she was saying,
for the most part, I felt that too. It's just I struggle trusting her.
Yeah, me too. But I think I still landed feeling positively about it. I felt like she was apologizing, and she said, I really do want to watch this back and see where I went wrong. I know that I did some things wrong. I don't know.
What was nice, what I did appreciate is that she did say, like, I want to rewatch it and like reflect and like look back on the things that I said so I can like take accountability for the things that I said. And never once did she give the excuse of, well, you didn't see everything. You didn't see me reconcile. The feeds cut while I was reconciling with this person, and the feeds didn't show that this person did a mean thing to me first. She didn't do any of that, which I appreciate.
Yeah. I feel like as I was watching this, like some of these interviews, I kind of felt like I agree. Like it's kind of hard to tell exactly because I feel like first and foremost, she is probably like she was shook when she came out of the house and realized that like this is the reaction I'm getting. These are the things that people want to ask me about, and I think that played a big role in it. You could see how like she just seemed like. I don't want to say off, but she seemed like just, you could tell that she was very shaken up in these interviews, right? Like it was obvious. But it seemed like I wasn't sure when she was like apologizing for things or anything like that. Like I couldn't tell for sure if it was like, oh, I really actually feel very sorry for these things that I did and I said, or if it was like a crap, I said and did all these things and I didn't realize how many people were going to see this much of it.
Yeah.
And like, so I have to apologize because I did this, not because I really feel like I want to, like, and that's what I wasn't really sure of. I just, yeah. But I can't forget, like, some of the stuff that she said in there, like, literally just for no reason saying that she doesn't think Taylor's a good person or, just being okay with the fact that Daniel would say things like, oh, Taylor doesn't deserve to be treated normal in here. Like I don't care what anybody has even done or said, even if Taylor did do something, like you don't say that this person doesn't deserve to live normal. And like Nicole was okay with that and on board with it. And like, so at this point, like, I don't care what she says. If she says she's sorry in these interviews, like she was really terrible in there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. See, I forget some of those things. I just remember, like, the comments about her flaunting her pussy around and stuff like that. And, like, because I don't know, a lot of the questions were really around, did, Taylor bully you? And, what did Taylor do to you? And she said, well, she didn't really do anything to me. It's just what I was hearing that other people said that she did to them. So it made me not like her. And that I felt like was a very real answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in a house with a bunch of strangers. You don't know anyone at all. One people, this Paloma that you were sort of endeared to, kind of came up to you and said, oh, well, Taylor was nasty to me. Taylor was this. I don't know. I could see myself going, ew. Well, I guess I don't like Taylor then. And like, I may not have seen it. Now, I don't know that I would have acted still the way that she did, but I could see that being the bottom line of why other people didn't like her.
Right.
Like, I do sort of get that.
Yeah, it just didn't like add up to me when she would do things like, "Oh, I'm a 41-year-old woman. I'm the mom of the house. I have to be there for everyone." And like she would say that in one breath, and then like talk so badly about this poor girl that was getting bullied and ganged up on in the house in Taylor. And it's like, hey, mom, why don't you?
You know what happened?
Why don't you make sure your Festie Bestie? Why don't you make sure that she's okay instead of volunteering twice in a row to sit on the block with her, like, to send her home. Whatever. Well, hey, that's what got her sent home. So
I'm glad that it worked out that way. We never see the bad people leave.
Right.
This is nice.
Yeah, I feel like any other season, Daniel and Nicole are our final two, and it's like,
oh yeah, at least final five.
Yeah.
This is great. This is turning out to be great. But I have nothing else.
Yeah.
And I see this as a really nice opportunity to get some extra Z's.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. It was a rough day.
Yeah. No air conditioning.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
AC was out.
No, not that.
Never that. So what do we have coming up this week? We have Challenge USA, 10:30 p.m. Right. It's a boys only night. Gina's absent.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'll be back on Thursday.
You got something better to do, huh?
I'll be back on Thursday.
But gang's all here Thursday night, 10:30, for the eviction. The Daniel eviction party, we're calling it now. And if there's nothing else for the benefit of the community, this has been Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast. You can find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on the website at bbjuryduty.com. And that's how you know it's time for bed. Thank you so much.